From compliance towards intrinsic motivation, a conversation on redefining engagement and school reform. Hello, I would like to begin a conversation about why education must shift from external compliance to fostering intrinsic motivation. It should be obvious that grades, standardized tests, and rigid assessment models create students who perform for validation rather than for true learning. But doesn't it follow that if schools continue relying on external motivators rather than cultivating students' natural curiosity and sense of purpose, they will produce graduates who lack the ability to self-direct, innovate, or find meaning in their work? Education must move beyond reward-based learning and focus on helping students recognize and develop their innate strengths. A student who is only motivated by grades may become disengaged once external pressures are removed, whereas one who is intrinsically motivated by curiosity and passion will continue learning for life. For example, an ISFP adventurer thrives in creative, hands-on learning, but may disengage in a rigid, test-driven environment, while an ENTP debater flourishes in open-ended discussions and exploratory thinking, but struggles in memorization-heavy tasks. If schools fail to recognize these personality-driven learning styles and force students into compliance-driven models, they risk suppressing students' natural talents and diminishing their long-term engagement with learning. Intrinsic motivation develops when students see their learning as meaningful and connected to their personal identity. Instead of viewing education as something to be endured, students should feel a sense of ownership over their growth, applying their talents in ways that align with their skills and aspirations. Imagine a student who excels in storytelling and interpersonal intelligence being given the freedom to develop a project on cultural preservation instead of being restricted to standardized writing formats. Their intrinsic engagement would naturally increase. If schools continue structuring education around arbitrary performance metrics rather than personal development, students will graduate with a weak connection to their abilities and limited self-direction in life and work. Future schools must nurture a deep sense of belonging by connecting students to their local communities, environments, and social ecosystems. When students understand that their education is not just for individual success, but also for contributing to something larger than themselves, they develop a stronger sense of purpose and emotional investment in their learning. If education remains detached from local identity and real-world application, students may struggle with feeling disconnected from their surroundings, leading to disengagement and apathy. Schools should integrate community-based learning, local sustainability projects, and geography-based well-being initiatives, ensuring that students feel grounded in their education and empowered to create meaningful impact. Students who develop intrinsic motivation through emotional self-awareness and purpose-driven education are far more likely to engage in lifelong learning, develop creative problem-solving abilities, and contribute positively to society. If education focuses only on grades and standardized outcomes, students may become fear-driven achievers who lose the ability to find personal meaning in their work. Schools must instead provide opportunities for students to pursue their passions, engage in collaborative projects, and explore learning as a dynamic, evolving journey, rather than a checklist of achievements. The future of school reform depends on shifting from compliance-based education to fostering intrinsic curiosity, emotional intelligence, and self-directed growth. It is time now to replace outdated models of reward and punishment with learning experiences that inspire students to explore, create, and connect their education to their personal identity and the world around them. If schools continue to rely on external motivators rather than helping students cultivate internal purpose, they will produce graduates who lack autonomy, direction, and engagement with their own potential. The challenge isn't whether this shift is needed. It's whether we are ready to embrace a future where education nurtures lifelong learners, passionate thinkers, and individuals who find meaning in their knowledge and contributions to the world.